My name is Sierra Jaguar. I'm 9 years old and I'm a Baha'i.
Sierra, what is a Baha'i?
A Baha'i is someone who is a follower of the Baha'i faith and Baha'u'llah.
Who is Baha'u'llah?
Baha'u'llah is a prophet, and Baha'is, which are my religion, believe in progressive revelation, which means sort of we believe in Jesus and Muhammad and all the other prophets, basically.
Okay. And what are some of the things based on his teachings that Baha'is believe in?
We believe in unity. We believe in all the people of the world are just one race. That skin color doesn't matter, we're against prejudice.
What does the Baha'i faith say about women?
They say that women are as equal as man, and there's this quote about a dove, that if one wing is broken, then the dove cannot fly. It's like one side is man, one side is woman, and if women are not treated equally, then the dove of peace cannot fly.
My name is Bita Hadarian. I'm Iranian-American Baha'i. I'm a filmmaker living in Austin, Texas, and my family was persecuted and put in prison in Iran in the early 80s because they were Baha'is, and they came to the States as refugees. They finally escaped the country and came in as refugees in the early 80s. I think the big challenge for the Baha'is in Iran is that they aren't given their basic human rights. They're not allowed to attend university. They're not allowed to participate in many parts of society because of their religion. And I think, the big reason why the Baha'is are pointed out is, firstly, one, because they're the largest religious minority in Iran. A lot of the other religious minorities are also persecuted, but the Baha'is are not recognized as a real religion by the Iranian government because they weren't in the books before Islam. So, they recognize Christianity and Judaism as legitimate religions. I mean, those religions are also persecuted, but the Baha'is specifically came after Islam and spoke about the Prophet Baha'u'llah, as the return of all the prophets of the past. So the Iranian government is, very anti the Baha'is because they're saying someone has come after Muhammad. And part of Muslim belief is that Muhammad is the last prophet. He is the seal of a prophet. So for another religion to come and say that there's someone who came after him is very problematic. I think their biggest fear is that the Baha'i faith is growing and that they can't be intimidated. I think that they are very fearful that, they put these people in prison, they kill these people, they burn their homes, they take away their property, and yet they still will not recant their faith, and they'll still try and educate their children. They will still rebel in a peaceful way because, basically, I think that's what has been so problematic for the government, is that we should have been able to coerce these people through fear to stop believing what they believe and stop practicing their faith, and they haven't been able to do that, and that is just very frustrating. And why can't they stop it? And I think that is very, very frustrating for them, especially why can't we stop it, and also why is it still growing, when we're doing all these things to stop it.
My name is Merdad Bashiri, and I'm originally from Iran. I came to the United States in August of 1985 as a refugee. I had to basically escape Iran back in 1983, and it took me about a year and a half to arrive in the United States. Professionally, I am an accountant, and I have been living in Austin for the past 15 years. The teachings of the Baha'i faith altogether have caused severe basically reaction from Muslim clerics in Iran. Perhaps I would say that almost 18 or 19,000 Babis and Baha'is were killed throughout the history of the faith in Iran. And there were different phases to these persecutions, starting with basically mobs killing Babis or Baha'is, and then a more formal one that we witness in recent years after the Iranian Revolution of 1979. And the scope of persecutions go different dimensions. Of course, it started with arresting prominent members of the community, then arresting individuals who were known for their knowledge and scholarship of the Baha'i faith, members of the institutions which basically administer the affairs of the community. And this was followed by perhaps execution of some of these individuals. At one point there was over 750 Baha'is imprisoned. But overall Baha'is killed is about 230 Baha'is killed. Of course, my father, I don't know if you know that, my father was among them. He was executed in November of 1984. There are no clergies in the Baha'i faith, and basically these 9-member council that could be anybody, and they are elected in the community. Basically they take care of the affairs of that community. Then at the national level, each country, Baha'is of each country elect a 9-member council to basically take care of the affairs of that country. And these institutions are called spiritual assemblies. You have local spiritual assemblies and national spiritual assemblies. And my father was a member of one of these national spiritual assemblies in Iran, and he was actually kidnapped in basically, I believe, June of 1983. And following being in prison for 15 months and severely tortured, and we have evidence of his torture, he was executed in November of 1984. I was in Iran when my father was kidnapped. I vividly remember the day that the members of Revolutionary Guards they came to our house and they searched our house early hours of morning. That's perhaps a separate story, but I was back then I was 18, and it was early morning that 9 members of the Revolutionary Guard basically searched our house and took all of basically our books and a lot of personal belongings.
And so was that happening to a lot of people that you knew, where they were coming in and searching their house?
Yes, a lot of, I personally knew, as I said, there were other members of this National Spiritual Assembly that they were persecuted too. Mm-hmm. And I know their families, and they went through the same thing. And even like regular Baha'is who were not really just members of the faith, and they were arrested, and a lot of them, a number of them were killed, and also their belongings were confiscated by the government. And
so there were 9 members of the spiritual assembly?
Yes.
And were they all imprisoned?
Just to clarify, the first spiritual assembly was basically, I believe, arrested in 1980. Mm-hmm. Then a second spiritual assembly, National Spiritual Assembly, was elected, and they were arrested in, I believe, 1982 or 1983, and they were killed. Both previous members of this National Spiritual Assemblies were killed. And the third one, which my father was a member, out of 9 members, perhaps 8 or 7 have already been killed.